Hello and welcome to Sports Counsel, your playbook for all things sports. I'm your host Matt, and I'm here with G and Dillon for this episode of the show. Super Bowl 60 is in the books, and for just the second time ever, the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions. We give all our reactions to the Super Bowl, including what went so wrong for the Patriots this past Sunday. Plus, with Valentine's Day coming up, we play NFL Matchmaker to pair some potential big-name bachelors looking for that special new team this offseason. Today is February 10th, 2026, and this is episode 208 of the show.
Well, fellas, it's almost all over, man. This is the last NFL episode for a while. Or is it?
Ooh.
Dang, we made it all the way to the end.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Matt, are you okay? Are you okay?
No, I'm not
or
okay,
you need therapy,
Dylan.
or you need therapy now.
I mean, I've always needed therapy, but this won't help. This is just an extra hour, probably, for the therapist case. Can we ever get, like...
Gambling is a form of therapy, am I right?
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks for
what
the
I tell
encouragement.
myself. Yeah. I'm healing when I lose this money.
Thanks, Dylan. You're just provoking my inner demons out right now. It's like, you're so bad for them. But before we get in any further for this Super Bowl, first of all, we are Sports Counsel. This is our podcast. And G, where can the people find Sports Counsel?
That's a great question, Matt, and I'd love to answer it for you. So they can find Sports Counsel on every social media platform. So TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. We're on all of them. We have the same handle, and that's going to be at sports_counsel, 2 words, and there's an underscore in between. Couldn't be easier. Go ahead and look it up. Search and follow and drop a notification, come like and retweet and, all that fun jazz. You guys know the deal. And then the best part is in the bio, you're going to see a Discord link. So go ahead and also join that. It's free. Why not? I don't see, why not? And you're going to be able to ask us questions, see other things. Our live reactions are usually on there. And as the name says, the best discourse is on there, right? So go ahead, follow all our social media platforms, join the Discord, become part of the Sports Counsel.
Yep, definitely sports_counsel on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, every social media site we are on. It's the same username. Discord link is in the bio for all of those. So definitely join. We'll have our off-season discussions. We definitely had a lot of lively discussions during the season. We will have the same during the off-season. So definitely check it out. Continue to follow us there even when we don't have podcasts. And if you are one of the lucky people who saw one of our stickers in the city of SF and you're listening to for the first time, welcome. Welcome to Sports Counsel. Hope you're enjoying our last episode of the season, unfortunately. But, here we are. It was an interesting experience, I think, in San Francisco, to say the least. I'm a little bit worn out, I think, because I would try to attend all the events in the Super Bowl events in San Francisco as much as I could. So, I think it was a great experience. Unfortunately,
Can you explain what you did?
Yeah, we can get into it, I think later on in the show, but I went to Media Day, first of all, on Monday, and I did get to talk to a couple of the Seahawks players there, ask them some questions. I attended NFL Live. There was an NFL live taping, I think, in Sue Bierman Park in San Francisco. That was very fun. Shout out to, Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes, all of those guys. Love their show. Definitely went out there to support them. And then I think me and G, we went to the Super Bowl experience in the Moscone Center. And there's some mixed reactions there, I think. G, you wanna take that one?
Yeah, if we're getting into it, right, then, we went to the Super Bowl experience on Saturday. That was obviously the busiest day since it was the day before the Super Bowl. It was also the most expensive day. It was, almost double the price of the regular day. It was nice, I think, overall, the experience of just, having it in the Bay Area and especially in the San Francisco area, having to be able to, see players, see TikTokers, celebrities, all these people you probably wouldn't see. It was nice, but it was so busy. And it's not really like their fault or anybody's fault. It just was so busy, and it's impossible to get to do anything. But you can divide your time up in the ways you want. And our fellow friend here, Matt, decided we really need to kick a field goal today. So that Saturday, we waited 2 hours, almost maybe 2 hours plus.
Exactly. exactly
to kick
2
a field
hours.
goal. Exactly 2 hours to kick a field goal. And we both probably didn't get the ball off the ground even more than a foot. Matt's actually went in and hit the other ball right in front of it, and mine just it just went straight and hit the ground. It was a waste of time, to say the least, and kind of ruined the vibe a little bit. But what can you do, right?
There's a reason why you didn't see that footage on our social medias. I mean, I showed the social media footage of the media day. I did not show the footage of that kick. So
maybe we will.
Do you have
Maybe
more
soon.
respect for kickers now?
No, because they're not kicking. Okay, so the biggest problem was we were kicking off a tee, right? So if you know anything about football, like that's when you kick off the opening kickoff, like use the little orange tees and stuff. Like that's how you kick field goals. So it was impossible to kick it. And also, like you're sitting in line for 2 hours, your legs are gonna be tired. Like that's just kind of the name of the game, right? Like we're sitting there, we're standing. I'm me, especially, other activities the day before had affected my performance on that Saturday, right? I wasn't in the best mental state there.
You sound like a kicker doing an interview right now.
Literally, right? And it's like, oh my God. And then we get up there, legs are tired. You're over it at that point. You're kind of just there because you already waited and just shit the bed.
Yeah, 2 hours of waiting, 15 seconds of disappointment. Not great. On our end. But yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl experience, I think itself was pretty good. Like there was a lot of activities, a lot of fun activities too. I think me and G went at the wrong time, too busy.
And we spent our time at the wrong way.
Yeah, probably should have done other activities first. But yeah, I mean, I think overall the Super Bowl experience in San Francisco was very fun. And I think a lot of people, and I saw a lot of media members, they got a takeaway of saying, oh, wow, SF is really nice, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, no shit.
Yeah,
like, personally,
that's crazy. Who the fuck
that could be a takeaway. I thought that was kind of agreed upon. But I guess like you're kind of mentioning, Matt, like notions haven't been good around the city. And, the I guess you could say the reputation of recent has been pretty bad. So having people come out and enjoy their time and, no real, I guess, besides that one linebacker on the Niners, of course, it was a Niner as well. That incident. It wasn't really too much going on, right? So it was a good time. A bunch of artists were out, celebrities were out, pop-ups that me and Matt went to were pretty fun. Ran into, like I said, random players, TikTokers. Got a picture with like Jordan Mailata. So, that's not happening anywhere else. So I'm happy they enjoyed their experience. We enjoyed our experience mostly. And I would definitely, want to go to another Super Bowl experience in a different city. I feel like that'd be a good time as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys both live in the city, so I don't really know how the experience was for you guys. But I mean, I always thought the city was it cleaned up very nicely, I think, for the Super Bowl. And I think it showcased its best and exactly why San Francisco is one of the best, cities in the country. So I'm very glad a lot of people got a positive takeaway from it. And I think everybody had a very good time.
I think not only they try to bring up San Francisco, they also try to bring up San Jose, I think, because there was some stuff going on down south.
Yeah, Media Day was also in San Jose, Santa Clara area. So yeah, it was also very nice there. So yeah, it was good for the whole Bay Area in general.
There's like a lot of like concerts. Like there was like a T-Pain concert on Saturday, and there's
a friends over to that.
And Kehlani's block party in San Jose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's fire. Yeah, it was a good time overall in the Bay Area. I think the vibes are great. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, but let's move on to the worst part of the Super Bowl experience, the Super Bowl itself. And, unless you're a Seattle fan, I think you came away disappointed as a Fairweather fan or as a Niner fan.
Or a gambler.
A gambler. I mean, let's just get straight into it.
About.
We'll talk about your success later, Dillon. But let's talk about the Super Bowl 60. Let's recap the game here. The final score was obviously Seattle 29, Patriots 13. This was a much more high-scoring game on paper than it actually was in real life. For the majority of the game, there was not a lot of scoring to be had. I believe Seattle only led 9-0 in the first half. Patriots basically did not score until the fourth quarter at like the 12-minute mark. So, this was a dominating win in complete fashion by the Seattle Seahawks. Their offense kind of got started slow early, but then their defense just turned it up the entire way. And ultimately, it wasn't the most entertaining Super Bowl. And, we can debate that if you want. But let's just hear your takeaways kind of on the game. Like, first off, like, to the fair weather fan, like, what was the first thing you noticed when it came to the Super Bowl from your expert opinion?
I think if you're you're there looking for offense, it was really boring. A lot of like punts and a lot of field goals, and like it was so one-sided. And what I mean by one-sided is like for example, Seahawks drive down to the field, but they always can't get the touchdown, so they always have to settle for a field goal, and it's like boring. And not only that, like they try to feed JSN so much, but like he was getting clamped by Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, definitely defense. Yeah, this is the first. Yeah, defense is taking that everywhere. Christian Gonzalez had himself a day.
I think if the Patriots won somehow, the MVP would have gone to Gonzalez.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was their best player. He's the only one that felt like really showed up to play and wanted to kind of go out and, do his job. Especially, we're mentioning the Patriots defense as a whole. They did play well. They were, not as, bend but don't break definition. Gave up 3 field goals in the first half, gave up another field goal coming out of the half. And then your offense, I think, was what the big part is we're going to talk about. But just Seattle's defense is just kind of gut wrenching and just like kind of suffocates you, right? They play that too high safety and don't really blitz too much because they're able to get pressure with 4. We mentioned that they have so many guys that had 6 or 7 plus sacks, right? Especially led by DeMarcus Lawrence and Byron Murphy and all these guys, they're all really good. Leonard Williams is in there, they're all beast, and they're just showed up to play. They kind of destroyed that left side of the Patriots, O-line, especially short arms himself, Will Campbell.
Yeah, I mean,
little T-Rex,
you talked about
little
it.
T-Rex.
Exactly. You talked about it in the Super Bowl preview episode where, you're talking about the Patriots, how they're going to deal with pressure because Will Campbell hadn't been good leading up to the game. And it very obviously showed, Will Campbell was not up to the task, and he was I think I saw a stat where he gave up 14 pressures in this game alone, which is the most by any player in a game this season. So this was literally the worst performance recorded for an offensive lineman this season. So definitely really bad.
Yeah. And I mean, alongside him, it's we don't have any statistical things to back, coach play. It usually is just wins and losses and the eye test. Josh McDaniels won Assistant Coach of the Year, which is also a stupid ass award. And he absolutely shit the bed, for a guy that's been a part of 10 different Super Bowls, 7 as an offensive coordinator. That game plan is awful. Your left tackle has been struggling. Your left guard is also a rookie. So you got 2 rookies on the left side going against one of the best D-lines in the NFL. They're only probably bringing forward most plays. You can find a way we talked about Ramondre chipping or a tight end like Austin Hooper playing in a little bit more, but it just felt like none of that was there. Especially, that urgency of let's say make an adjustment. Let's try something different. Didn't see much of any screen work. I thought screens would be huge, especially on that type of team where they're just going, try to hold them, pin them back a little bit, call a couple screens, nothing. And it was a poor excuse of a game plan and in-game adjustments from top to bottom, from Vrabel to, he doesn't really control the offense. So I'm kind of giving him a slight there. But, Josh McDaniels was raised to a pedestal, I felt like, throughout the year for his offensive game plans and the way they were doing stuff. So, you got to also take the bad with it. This was awful. You had no plan to kind of deal with pressure, attack, and kind of use that against them. And then after the, half happens, you see Will Campbell struggling, no adjustments made, just more of the same. And then eventually, it's already over by then.
Yeah. With the Patriots, first of all, someone who's never watched, let's say you haven't watched any of the playoff games before or the regular season, you just watched the Super Bowl. Seattle's defense is that good. They've been good the entire season. They've basically been probably the most elite unit top to bottom in terms of defense and takeaways and scoring. So this is a very good defense. You have to respect it. My issue was that with the Patriots, it just felt like they didn't respect it. They weren't giving them the proper respect of giving them an adequate game plan to go against. Like, I know that they faced top 5 defenses in the Texans and the Broncos and the Chargers all the way leading up to the Super Bowl here for the playoffs. But at the same time, one, you didn't actually play very well against any of those defenses. And two, these defenses are not like Seattle's defense, right? And yeah, just like you were saying, G, like it felt like Josh McDaniels did not adequately, like you had 2 weeks to game plan this. You have to shore up your weaknesses as well as find a way to attack the Seattle defense. And it just felt like, one, they didn't do that. They didn't find a way to adequately shore up that weakness. They didn't do they normally run 6 offensive linemen. They run a jumbo package sometimes. They could have had 2 running backs, one Henderson be the receiving back, Ramondre be the pass blocker, right? Like they could have done more short passes, ease Drake May into that game. They didn't do any of that. And then the second thing is that it felt like they just didn't have any way of attacking Seattle's defense. It's almost like, there are weaknesses in Seattle's defense. You also, if you really want to get into it, we said, do the deep plays. You can come out there with 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, just like the Rams do, and kind of attack them. So force Seattle to be into more of a base package, right, on defense, which is heavier guys. They didn't do that. They actually ran 11 personnel, which is 1 running back and 1 tight end and 3 wide receivers, more than ever, basically at the highest rate they've run this season. So it's a very odd game plan that they had, and it just felt like they didn't give Seattle the adequate respect. They didn't even go no huddle. They didn't go tempo. They didn't even go for it on 4th and 1.
I don't know what they did for 2
weird.
weeks. It's because it's funny because you mentioned 2 weeks worth of time, right? You would assume a coaching staff would take that amount of time and only amplify their game plan for the coming week, right? Hence the week off of extra football, right? But we always talk about coaches coming out of buys, that's huge. The extra week is supposed to be huge for coaching. All the players, I'm sure they get well rested, but for that coaching aspect of things, you expect kind of that. Hey, what happens if their defense plays good? I think that question might not even have been asked in that coaching meeting. It is just confusing to me at the end of the day. I don't know what their plan was, and it was awful. It didn't look like they even in the first half had a plan at all because the way they were running the offense, the way Drake May was playing, kind of getting into more of his play, just very nervous, very I guess you say first timer. He looked like throughout the playoffs. It was the continuous struggle that we saw against these, very highly rated defenses, but you're attempting to win a Super Bowl. It wasn't going to be easy, right? So you have to play better. You have to understand that there's going to be, very small windows to throw the ball. And it was funny enough that I don't know if you guys saw the clip of Julian Love, the safety that got the pick for the Seahawks. He's on the sideline talking about how he dropped a pick and he's kind of waits to see where Drake May is going to look, and then he notices that Drake May is taking an extra second in the pocket before he throws. He probably is comparing to the guy he played the week before with Matthew Stafford, where he might not even be looking before he throws the ball, right? So this is just different. I think he gets used to that, and then you're playing Drake May. It's he's taking that extra second to throw, he's taking a hitch. That's just nervousness. That's just not trusting what's there. So, that's on coaching as well. You got to give him something to build up his confidence. But between May and Josh McDaniels, it was a pretty big indictment in my opinion.
I think that honestly, a lot of the Patriots offense as a whole, everyone's to blame. The offensive line was very bad. They were just atrocious. You can't even blame everything on Will Campbell. There was one play where I thought I saw the left guard, who's also a rookie, by the way, push the defensive lineman out of Will Campbell's reach and then into Drake May, which I thought was just oh my God, that was so stupid. And that was a momentum killing. I think it was on the first drive of the game as well. So that wasn't great.
Sums up their night.
Yeah, and then there was I felt like all of the offensive linemen gave up pressure for Drake May. Drake May, I could definitely tell he was nervous from the start. I think the interview that he did right after the Star Spangled Banner and stuff like that, you could tell he was kind of tight. He was nervous. He was very short answers. I was oh man, he's nervous. And you could tell I love my young man King, leader of the young men, but this was not a good game from him. Like, it was very uncharacteristic because he leads the league in accuracy. He's great at the deep pass, right?
But a lot of that wasn't there during the postseason, and I think it just kind of goes to prove your point, right? Like he wasn't himself throughout this postseason, and it's just a bad postseason, I hope. And it's not like, a sign of a guy who's a playoff decliner. As right now, that's kind of the narrative, right? It's going to kind of pick up more and more as throughout the next few months and then into the next year. What you're going to remember is Drake May played like shit, and unfortunately, that's just the last football game he played for us. He had a great season, but this playoff was a very, very bad look for him. I think next year, whatever he does in the regular season is kind of going to be a little bit of like that. You're already second in MVP, like we've seen you do in the regular season. Let's see what you could do in the postseason. Can you play good in the postseason, right? So there's a lot to prove for himself going into next year, and unfortunately, it's going to be hard to prove until, 17, 18 weeks into the season, right?
Definitely. Dillon, do you have any thoughts?
I think just watching the game is just, I think as you said, it was not fun seeing just Drake making chased out of the pocket or like just the pocket collapsing and not getting rid of the ball. I think that really like kind of irked me a little bit. And not only that, like his wide receivers also did him no favors. Even when he did the intermediate throws, right? And they couldn't even catch the ball. I was talking to my other podcaster, Bryant. I was like, where's Stephon Diggs? I was like, he better enjoy the moment now before he goes somewhere else after the season ends. But
that was weird as well. I feel like that receiving core had played well throughout the season, and it kind of, like you said, disappeared. Maybe, we can go back to that being a scheme as well, but they also weren't getting open. You mentioned a lot of these Seattle corners, like they're playing them physical, Witherspoon and Woolen, they're getting in their faces. So you kind of have to be able to play to that level, but they weren't able to.
Yeah, it's like momentum. Like, again, there's like at least 5 things that they could have done. Like, again, max protect. They could have chipped with, the tight ends. They could do more short passes. They can hurry up the tempo to kind of tire these defensive linemen. They could do bootlegs. They could do rollouts. Like even Sam Darnold was doing rollouts and, hitting these easy passes. Like I know that it didn't work they did one rollout and it was a sack. Yes. But it felt like once Josh McDaniels said, okay, that happened, we're never going to do it again. We're never going to call it again for some reason. Like I saw one where they did a Travion Henderson to the outside for like 8 yards and it was like 2nd and 2. Next play, Ramondre Stevenson up the middle for no gain. Then Drake May sack on 3rd down. Like, what happened? What didn't we just do here? It just felt like I didn't really understand what Josh McDaniels' game plan was. Like, to start the game, during the game, he should get a lot of flack. Like, I think it was a total failure from everyone on the Patriots offensive side. The defense played great, by the way. We'll get into that later. But if you had to assign blame, I'd say it would go to Josh McDaniels first, offensive line, Drake May, then the receivers.
I know one person we haven't really talked about here that I think kind of deserves a little bit more of the blame pie, I guess you could say. It's Mike Rabel himself. Obviously, the defense played good. You say we'll get into it later. That's fine. But just also, I would say poor game management, and you being the veteran coach in this matchup, I thought would be an advantage for New England. There's so many 4th downs in that end of that first half going into the second half, especially like when you're 4th and 3, you're 4th and 1. Like it doesn't matter at that point, like you have to go for it. People are like, but they get the ball within the 40. But if you get it, hey, that's putting some confidence in your quarterback, right? That, hey, my coach still believes in me. Like you're every 4th down that's short, you're taking him off the field. He's just like, fuck, I'm not playing good. My coach is not letting me take any chances. And he knows I'm not playing good. We keep calling these plays like I'm not playing good. Now you're only in your head some more and more, right? You didn't go for a 4th down. Let him try to get it. Just let him run it. Let him try to build some momentum, right? Like, it's just bad, I would say, game management throughout the game. You're just kind of like, all right, let's just keep playing conservative. Let's play the field position game. But it's a Super Bowl. Like, what are we playing, to win? Or are we just playing to, like, I don't even know what they were playing to do. Like, they had no kind of soul throughout that game. Like at some important point of the game, you're down, it's 4th down, you're like, fuck it, dude. If we get it, at least we have a better chance of winning. Like not getting it and it's already over anyways. We're punting the ball back again. And eventually, a few punts later, they do break through and get a touchdown. Now it's game over anyways, right? So It's just confusing to me why you don't go for any of these 4th downs. Try to build some confidence. Let him. If you get a huge 4th down, that can mentally be like, all right, Drake May's like, okay, come on, I got a 1st down here. Boom, let's get another one, and it just builds more momentum, right? And they didn't look like they even believed in Drake May themselves, which I think is a little, their fault mostly because you did such a shit job building him up in the beginning of the game. He has no confidence left in him, right? So I think Mike Vrabel deserves a lot more blame for the decisions made within the game as well.
I think, again, it was a matter of arrogance. Like, it felt like the Patriots felt like they were better than they were, and they stuck to the game plans where they were the favorites against the Texans and the Broncos, where it's like, just don't make too many mistakes on offense. Our defense will take care of it, and we'll force these turnovers. We'll be aggressive there. But again, I feel like they just didn't play hungry enough on offense, where it's like, hey, we are the underdogs in this case. We have to be aggressive. We have to take these risks. We have to do something different from, our usual game plan to throw them off. Like, force turnovers, sneak it on 4th down, do all these, like, weird and wacky stuff. It just felt like they didn't feel like they were the underdogs that they probably should have felt. And when you don't feel that way and you kind of play like you usually do against a much better team, this is exactly the result you're going to get. And I mean, let's flip it to the other side of the ball here, because we're talking about it. Like, defense of the Patriots, you talked about it earlier, Dillon. Christian Gonzalez was a standout. He was great. He almost got that pick at the end of the half, and maybe that could have changed things as well. I think, honestly, the defense played very well. I think they had a good game plan in place, which was to pressure Darnold, which is exactly what we talk about every time we talk about Sam Darnold. And I'll say it, guys. I think he did good enough in this game to win this game. Like, he definitely did. He didn't do everything, right? He didn't do everything. He wasn't like the Jalen Hurts performance from last year or whatever. But the biggest thing that Sam Darnold did was he didn't make a huge mistake. And there's so many opportunities for him to revert back to Jets Sam Darnold or Panthers Sam Darnold or even end of the year Vikings Sam Darnold, where when he sees pressure in his face, he feels like he has to make a play and he gets picked off or he gets something big. He would even be able to take a sack and, it's better. And he didn't do that. In fact, he actually escaped pressure just enough to check it down, get some yards, keep moving the ball. And I thought that was very good of him to be able to do. He just avoided making those bad and negative plays, and that's all you need to do because your defense is handling the rest. That's all you need to do to win the Super Bowl, and he definitely did that.
And that was impressive. Kenneth Walker, obviously Super Bowl MVP, what he was able to do. One of the strengths of the Patriots defense was their run defense. Obviously, Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, their 2 D tackles, whenever they play together, they're almost, one of the best run stuffing defenses in the NFL. So seeing them get ran on by Kenneth Walker was also a little bit of shocking. Kind of going back to coaching, you're looking at the Seahawks-Rams game. Kenneth Walker had a huge game. You're looking at the 49ers-Seahawks game. Kenneth Walker had an absolute monstrous game. So I couldn't imagine that they thought that Kenneth Walker wasn't going to get the ball a great 20 times or whatever he did at the end of the day. So it's logically, I would have had a better idea of how to stop Kenneth Walker. They had a great game plan for JSN and Cooper Kupp and all these guys, but it's the best player going into this game for the Seahawks offense was Kenneth Walker. So it's hard to say where was the run defense kind of strategy. It just felt like they're okay, we got Barmore, we got Milton Williams. They'll figure it. They got it figured out for the most part. But they were able to keep bouncing out runs. He had 3 or 2 20-yard plus rushes in the first half and then another one in the second half. It was just a monstrous game by him. So shout out to him. He's going to get a bag this offseason as a free agent. So he might, I think the Seahawks have to keep him. We're going to do Matchmaker later. He's not one of the guys, but at the Charbonnet injury, Kenneth Walker seems like he's more valuable than ever. Super Bowl MVP. He's going to get a nice bag coming his way, but he had an amazing game. We mentioned the Patriots defense had a good passing attack defensively, but we're not, if they're running the ball for 20 yards a pop almost every once a drive, to hell with your fucking pass defense, right? Like, I'm just going to keep running it. And I think that's what the Seahawks said. And Sam Darnold realized, like, Kenneth Walker is playing much better than I am today, or he already is. So let's just make sure he gets the ball. I'm going to make sure I don't kind of screw it up. He definitely didn't. He did a lot of what Drake may I thought we were going to do, I think is a good way to put it. Go and run around in the pocket, making plays, avoiding guys. You didn't see much of that from May, but you saw a lot of that from Sam Darnold, where even the closest guys that got to him were like, oh my God, he's about to strip sack or strip or something, fumble, nothing, a pick, nothing. Everything was like almost there, but not really. And that's kind of what wins the games and doesn't lose them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really thought Darnold was going to get a turnover. Like, it looked at the beginning of that first drive, I thought he was definitely getting a pick because they were playing so aggressive. Like,
that first play of the game, it looked like a pick. And you're like, oh, you got that one completed. But the way he was throwing that, like, he's going to get one today. Like,
yeah,
no,
it was
surprising.
I thought it was going to happen. And then, I mean, also going back to, like, I was just thinking about the aggressiveness again, lack of aggressiveness on Vrabel's side. Mike McDonald, I'll give him a little bit of a shout out. He did actually surprise me because in the first quarter, he actually brought the blitz a lot. Devon Witherspoon was coming in a couple of times. And I think that also, like, sometimes you can get pressure with 4 and that's great. But if you can bring that blitz early and rattle them early, I think that also affected May later on. And he was starting to, ironically, see ghosts out there. So it was very interesting. Kind of the whole thing. One last thing on the Super Bowl. What percentage odds would you give for either of them returning next year?
I would say I have a higher chance of Seahawks going back into the playoffs deeper than Patriots.
I agree with you 100%. I would give Patriots, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but close to like a 0 to 5% chance of making it back. And I'm not going to be like, oh, well, they just played bad that one game. You got to look at their schedule. And it went from the easiest schedule in the league to one of the most difficult schedules. They're playing the NFC North, that division is. So obviously all of them are going to already have hard matchups. They have a first place schedule. They play the Broncos. They play the Texans. They play all these good ass teams again. So it is a very, very difficult schedule. So no spoilers, but if anybody remembers this and going into our next year, 2026 season predictions, I don't even think they'll be a playoff team. The hangover is real, man. The hangover is real. And usually with these type of things, like, your chance is your chance. When if you don't get in the year you can, I mean, especially the team that loses, you're looking at the Chiefs last year, completely fell apart this year. You look at the year before that, it was the Niners?
Yep. That's us.
And then the next year, you guys didn't make the playoffs. You guys fell apart. And obviously, injuries do a lot of this, but it also is that you played extra games. You mentally were all giving it all year that year. And the Patriots don't pay anybody yet. It's all going to kind of catch up slowly. So I hope this not turn into a Bengals Joe Burrow situation where your second year you've got a quarterback who could do no harm and played the best he ever will or has, and you don't even sniff the playoffs again for a while, and especially the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
I tend to lean towards that. I don't know. Quickly, what do you guys think? Do you feel like the Patriots with Drake May is more closer to the Bengals team, or like an Eagles team where maybe in a couple of years they'll be back and actually be able to win it?
I think the Patriots are a lot like the Bengals. I hate to say it, but I think it's more of the case. And also, I mean, they don't even have the offensive firepower that the Bengals have. Obviously, they have a better defense than the Bengals do. I mean, I'm a little bit more optimistic about their chances than either of you. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl next year. The Super Bowl hangover curse is just very real. Yeah. Only Tom Brady has ever done it and won the next year after that. So this is just not that
I'd give
team.
It at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, it's just hard. And I think the Patriots are going to need some upgrades. They do have a little bit of money that they could spend, and we'll probably talk about that later. I just want to focus a little bit on the Seattle side because we haven't really discussed it yet. I do think they have a very good defense. I think they're going to be heavy favorites next year. Only thing I would watch for is how they're going to replace Clint Kubiak, because we've seen that when an offensive coordinator leaves this late into the cycle of offseason and all these candidates already have been hired. We saw what happened with the Eagles last year with Kellen Moore being taken by the Saints. They had to basically elevate from within with Kevin Patullo. We already talked about how that
Patullo's
happened.
available.
Yeah, he could definitely go. So Mike McDonald's biggest decision this offseason will be how he will handle that and then see what they can do for another run. So that's definitely the question.
Unfortunately, I think that is going to be huge. I do not expect the Seattle Seahawks to make the Super Bowl again, like not even make it. I think they'll still be a good playoff team. The winning the division is a game or there, here or there. So they'll be in, NFC West, contention to win till the very end again. They'll be a really good team, but I think they'll get clipped in the playoffs by most likely one of their division teams.
Please, God. Unless it's the Rams or the Cardinals.
It's definitely not the Cardinals. I'll let you know that.
Hey, you never know what can happen with Mike LaFleur and Mike Wilson and whoever the quarterback is. Maybe we'll talk about it
Maserati
soon.
Marv.
No, probably not him. But, okay, let's stop talking about the Super Bowl, like, in the game in general. I mean, other thoughts? Like, what do you think of the halftime show?
I liked it. I wish it was a little bit longer. He didn't really perform too many songs. I don't know if anybody else noticed that.
I thought it was 4 or 5
songs to completion, which is obviously the same thing as playing 8 of half songs, right? Which is more typical. But it was a cool set. I thought the whole, Bush thing was hilarious. There was an actual wedding happening on it.
Could have tried out to be Bushes.
Dude, we would have been some good ass Bushes too. But, I thought, obviously we're biased. It was here in our hometown. So I thought the vibes were great going into it. The game was mid. But, halftime performance was good. I don't know about you guys, but I think the commercials are kind of trash for the most part.
This year was
really
kind of lackluster.
There's no trailers. I know that that shouldn't technically count as the cool ads that everybody wants to talk about. But, a good Marvel trailer hits every Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Or am I just the only
Has
one
to be
that
a
thinks
good Marvel movie first.
There's a lot of AI.
There is one.
AI commercials, dude.
Yeah, AI is basically the new
AI.
crypto. Crypto was hella big a couple years ago with all their ads, so I think now it's AI's turn.
I missed just the Doritos Chaos commercials, or
they didn't air one this year.
I was hoping there'd be a Lowe's backup quarterback. I thought maybe Nick Foles would be the backup quarterback because it makes sense. It's a Super Bowl, so you bring out the coolest backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl. It lined up. I thought that was just a gimme that we would see something lit like that. Didn't see something like that. I don't know, a bunch of fucking songs that we hear all the time just getting replayed over and over again. How many times do we need to listen to fucking Backstreet Boys in an ad?
Yeah. Did you hear it?
Fuck the Backstreet Boys. It's a great song. It's a great song, but we don't need it in every ad. Let's be creative here. It's 30 years of using the same goddamn song in every ad. It's a good song, but it doesn't need to be in every advertisement. You know what I mean? There's other good songs. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Coinbase is the one with
the Coinbase
karaoke.
one. I hated
that was the worst
that one.
I hated it. It was so stupid. And I don't think anyone
I've seen the
enjoyed
cringiest TikTok of a whole a group of people that obviously recorded themselves while the Coinbase ad was going on, ironically, and they're all singing in it this is the coolest ad ever. You guys are fucking weird, bro. You guys are so weird for that. What are you doing here? And everybody in the comments was just roasting them too. It was bad. That Coinbase ad is stupid.
No, I was super confused when all the words showed it. I didn't.
And then it was just Coinbase at the end. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm not, doesn't. And then none of these ads ever actually make you guys want to go use anything or do any of the things that it's promoting.
It was really short. The good ads I felt were so short that I feel I didn't get enough. Ben Stiller, the one with I don't even remember what it was for, but I think he fell. I think he was trying to do a Benson Boone flip and he fell because he was jealous. It just didn't take because it was so fast. It happened so fast and I didn't get what was going on.
I don't even remember which one that is. I don't know. Pretty forgettable ad wise.
Yeah. I only remember the Dunkin' Donuts one. That was actually not bad.
I didn't like it because it was very much nostalgia based. And I was did they de-age them or was it AI? I didn't really know what was going on there.
The creativity felt very AI based. AI companies, and also just AI like make me this ad for the Super Bowl type of thing. And it was just like kind of felt like, everything could have ended up done better in that portion of things.
Yeah. Easy Cake, I like the one where they were trying to cut that girl because they thought she was cake. Like, I'll give props to that one. But I mean,
do you remember which ad that was that you're giving credit to?
See, that's the thing. You need to sell your product, and it's a little bit hard.
Yeah, it only way makes sense. Like, we just
just
because you throw a celebrity or sing a song, like that doesn't like help your company or name value at all. No one's talking about that. They're just talking about the celebrity or the song in it, right?
Yeah. Well, that was Super Bowl 60. I mean, any other thoughts on that? But I think overall it was a very C Super Bowl. I think this SF element definitely for us was very enjoyable, but other than that, I think for the broader part of America, it's not great.
I think larger part of America would probably give it a D. I'd give it a B because I enjoyed my experience the whole weekend. So like that C feels like probably right.
Yeah, I say the same. Okay, let's move on to the offseason. We don't have to talk about this godforsaken season anymore where the Niners suck and are all injured at this point. And apparently are still getting injured even after the Super Bowl. But
getting
whatever.
shot.
Come on, little baby. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? Bad Bunny is now on my list as one of my favorite artists because he's a Niners fan. Lil Baby has just been kicked off the list because he just shot a 49er.
Whatever his name was, Keon White, he wasn't even going to be on the team next year.
Dude, he was an edge rusher. We need some of those.
You guys, I guess, but I don't know, bro. It was a weird situation. We're not getting into that. Let's keep moving forward.
Can't believe the electric substation did that. But
that was good.
Valentine's Day is coming up next weekend. Thank God it's not happening during the Super Bowl. It will next year, so stay tuned for that, gentlemen. But either way, Valentine's Day is coming up, and for a couple of very notable players this offseason, they will most likely be eligible bachelors to start free agency and the offseason. So we're going to play a little bit of Offseason Matchmaker here. We kind of do this every year around this time of year, and we try to figure out the best pairing that these names and faces should go to next year in terms of their ideal teams. So
okay.
We're gonna stray away from some of the big name free agents and kind of focus on more guys that are still on a team and maybe they're looking for a trade or a place to go. Let's start off with Kyler Murray here because I think this is a very interesting one. Both him and the next quarterback we'll name, they're very big contracts, first of all. So I think that's very hard. You don't like a girl with a lot of baggage, right? Who's very expensive and needs to, you need to buy everything for them. So that's definitely a red flag there. What team do you think would be able to kind of look past those red flags?
The Miami Dolphins.
Damn. I think they kind of got a pretty big, gold digger there already.
They're going to switch quarterbacks.
That could happen, and I don't know what that does for either team. I can see Kyler Murray going to the Jets. It's just the writing's on the wall. They're not getting a quarterback this draft. Between Dante Moore going back to college to play at Oregon again, Fernando Mendoza being a one quarterback draft, it looks like they're going to look to see who else is available. And I think they're not a very attractive location. So, your Malik Willis's, even like anybody else is really available, they probably won't want to pick the Jets. So you obviously have to take some baggage with it, when you're kind of the Jets. So it makes sense they would go after Kyler Murray. They have good draft picks this year. I don't know what you guys think it gives up to give a Kyler Murray. I don't think a day 1 or 2 pick. I'd assume it's like a 4th or 5th rounder because you're taking the contract off their hands. They'd gladly give you that piece of shit. So I think
I need to offer
the Jets.
Early copy of Call of Duty to him.
Yeah, that comes with the locker. Like when the guy gets traded to a new team, like there's just they always have that video of him like walking to his locker for some reason. His locker is just kind of like a nice COD poster, new COD controller, the new COD game.
Oh man, I honestly, it's a bad relationship between the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, and kind of ended not great when he kind of got injured and Jacoby Brissett came in, and then they just started to just sit him out for the rest of the year. Like, you don't want a partner who's gaming and is lazy, and you have to spend a lot on them.
I play games,
right? Well, I mean, I think that's just something you got to sort out.
Bro.
Yeah,
it just doesn't hinder my job.
I'm not trying to do anything, I'm not going to speak on your relationship here, but I honestly think they're going to figure it out, and they're going to stick with Kyler Murray. It's a boring answer, but I actually do believe the Cardinals will keep him.
Well, the problem with the Cardinals is, what's the other answer, I think you gave Jacoby Brissett as many starts as one could possibly give Jacoby Brissett. So I don't know what else they can do with that. They don't have an answer at quarterback either. Like, you trade Kyler Murray for a 5th-round pick. Now, what do you do at quarterback, right? Like, you bring back Clayton Tune or Josh Rosen or something like.
It's terrible. Oh,
no, I don't know. I thought mostly just a joke, but you also can't just give out another big contract to a free agent, right? So kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe Dillon's right. Maybe the next quarterback we're going to talk about, Tua Tagavailoa.
Turn the
ball over. Yeah. Maybe it's just a swap. Like, that'd be disgusting. I don't know why either team would do that. But, yeah, I don't know where Tua goes either. This one is even worse because Kyler still has upside. I know it sounds stupid to say, but, like, if you put him with the right team and you give him, like, an offensive guy that can use his skill set well, you have potential there. Like, Tua, like, I don't know what he does. I think he might just get cut and be a backup.
I think that's very likely.
He also owed more money, too. I think that's even the worst part. His contract's bigger than Kyler Murray's.
$100 million cap hit.
I think they're going to cut him. I think they will. I think they're going to cut him, and they're going to make a strong offer for Malik Willis. The Dolphins will. They brought the Packers defensive coordinator, the Packers assistant GM. They basically have the mini Packers running in Miami. So go get Malik. That makes sense. Give him as much money as you can. And then probably get rid of Tyreek Hill to save some money or something like that. Tua will also just take the L on it. And for Tua himself, I think maybe like Michael Penix, you go play backup to him and see if he doesn't get hurt or something, or I don't know.
That's interesting. I mean, if he wasn't a Dolphin, I would have said they'd trade him to the Jets because I would have said, but they're division rivals.
I think they'll gladly do that.
I just don't see it happening, just in case.
He's not going to get traded, though. I just think this matchmaking is like, all the people that are looking for you, they're just going to keep swiping left, I guess, right?
You do forget there is one eligible bachelor still out there that is waiting on
an old man. If you say what I fucking think you're going to, if you say what I think you're going to say, bro, I'll cut the podcast right now. You'll have to do the rest by yourself. If I think you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
I think Tua is going to go to the Steelers.
Bro, go fuck yourself.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Bro, I could have took Kyler Murray.
But you won't. So you're going to have to take
Mike McCarthy is not an idiot offensively, and he has brain. And if he uses any part of his brain, he will realize that Tua doesn't actually have one. So,
Gee, we do this every year. Last year we were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
I'll take Aaron Rodgers back, though. That's the thing. I'll take Aaron Rodgers back.
That's crazy because last year you said you were going to quit your fandom over Aaron Rodgers becoming a Steeler.
No, but Tua's even worse than Aaron Rodgers. That wasn't an option. Last year you would have asked me Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old or Tua. I would have told you Aaron Rodgers. That wasn't a realm in the possibilities.
You just have to imagine every year that the Steelers are just going to get worse. Like, whatever decision you don't want them to make, they're going to make it and you're going to hate it. Because now you have Mike McCarthy as your head coach somehow, and now it's going to be Tua instead of Aaron Rodgers because that's just the worst thing that you could have possibly imagined. So that's what I'm going to go with here.
I hate you. I really hate you. I think he'll be Purdy's backup.
Hate the Steelers.
I think he'll be Purdy's backup. As Mac Jones will probably may get traded or something, Tua come in as backup. Yeah.
Shit.
How do you like that? Oh, fuck. Yeah. Fuck you.
That's okay. I mean, we'll just have to have a very good third string quarterback.
Dillon, were you serious about the Cardinals trade? Is that really where your prediction is for Tua?
I can see it happening. Tua for Kyler.
That's so funny.
So funny.
You know what? They should wait a couple
swap.
years and see if Jalen Hurts shits the bed and then trade Jalen Hurts for Tua. Just for shits and giggles.
Old time's sake.
Tua should go to the Eagles. Then if Jalen Hurts shits the bed for first half of the game, send in Tua.
Exactly. It worked for Alabama.
Honestly, he could be a good backup for the Eagles, bro. Honestly, no, actually take that back. He couldn't handle like one bad game there, one bad throw. They'd probably start throwing snowballs at him or something.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to AJ Brown here. He's a very controversial wide receiver. I honestly don't think the relationship can be repaired. I know they brought in a new offensive coordinator, but have you seen the reports coming out of Philadelphia? It seems like everyone's trying to jump ship right now. So
they're blaming Jalen Hurts, Jay Glazer, who usually is pretty spot on. Like if any reporter's good, Glazer's always been good, and he was the one that came out and said that a lot of players and a lot of coaches inside the facility blame Jalen Hurts. Like limitations of Jalen Hurts. He's not able to do certain things. That's why certain plays weren't called. That's horrible things coming out of the thing. And that's not even including AJ Brown. Like, his antics are god awful. And with all of that being said, I think he stays. And I know the popular pick, send him to New England. Mike Rabel needs him again. I get it. They got cap space. It makes so much sense. But then this is the other side of it, right? I'm going to paint it to you like this. If the Eagles are looking at their team where you have a brand new offensive coordinator again, your offensive line coach, who's a guru, is retired or just left. Lane Johnson is contemplating retirement. You have a new run game coordinator. You're basically starting from scratch on offense. I think it would probably help your quarterback if AJ Brown was out there. So on that premises, I'd at least start him to start the season. And then if 7 weeks through the season, shit's still hitting the fan, I would think about trading him during the season, but at least start the season. There's just no way you could tell me it wouldn't be helpful to have AJ Brown in that situation where, obviously the relationship is bad, but like you said, there's a new offensive coordinator. It can be, there's light at the end of the tunnel with this offense. We've seen it. So I would just assume, it'd be easier for Jalen Hurts. It'd be easier for the Eagles offense to have AJ Brown out there while they're transitioning. And if it's 7 weeks through a season, you're not really using him still, or, whatever the case is, he'd probably start complaining. And at that point, you probably want to trade him. But I would want to start the season off with him.
I think he already made it known after the loss against the Niners when Nick Sirianni, when he dropped the catch, his head coach ran to him and started yelling at him.
Yeah, but they love that shit, though. That's the problem. If it was any other team, I would be like, dude, that makes so much sense. You probably should have been cut a while ago or something. But this is Philadelphia. Their fucking coach yells at their fans. Their coach the fans yell at him and boo him. Their quarterback gets hated by the. It's just how this shit goes in Philadelphia. That is the downside of playing in that city and that circumstances with Sirianni at coach. It's just chaos, But I think that's what they kind of all thrive on. They're like, that's what works for them.
It's an abusive relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a good abusive relationship, though.
No, not good.
And also, he was hugging his teammates and didn't do any interviews post game. So I think it's pretty telling that he wants.
That's just diva shit, though.
But he's been complaining all season. I think he ain't gonna stay. He's done. He's gonna be leaving Philly.
All right. So where are you guys seeing? Who's picking the Patriots? Both of you guys?
I am. I'm picking the Patriots.
I guess so. I have no idea where he's gonna go. I'll be honest.
It makes so much sense, though. If he does get traded, they don't need their draft capital. They have so much cap space. They need a receiver to play the one. Stephon Diggs is a lot older.
He's going to jail.
Him there. He's also he's also beat the shit out of his chef.
Lost his girl.
And the ring.
So crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad for him. So you might as well go get AJ Brown. And it worked with Mike Rabel. Mike Rabel obviously really loves him. They said that was a turning point in Tennessee when they traded him without telling Mike Rabel, or he didn't really want to trade him, whatever the case is. It makes so much sense for him to go to New England. But if you guys had to pick somewhere else, any ideas? No San Francisco?
I could see
it.
I could honestly see it. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna deal with that.
I just feel like you guys have to go for a proven receiver.
No, because we just went that with Ayuk. I just don't see us going to another.
But you guys are gonna get a new receiver. You're gonna either spend a first round pick on it, or you're gonna go get a guy. I just feel like I'd get the really good guy. You're basically replacing Ayuk's salary with it, so I would assume financially should mostly work. So AJ Brown just makes a lot of sense.
I honestly like a guy.
And he's a
with
yak
speed.
type of guy. Like, I could just imagine him getting the ball in his hands and bump off this guy, hit off this guy, off a slant route, and boom, you're looking at a huge touchdown or something. Purdy's perfect for him. I feel like Purdy has no problem getting people the ball, giving receivers chances to get the ball and stuff. Like, exact opposite of Jalen Hurts, right?
I have a feeling we're gonna go and target a much more mid wide receiver and overpay them. So Rashid Shaheed, you are gonna be a Niner.
Congratulations, the Niners have signed Michael Pittman.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Alec Pierce, you're
I'd
getting
rather have Alec Pierce.
Yeah. Definitely rather have
Oh
Alec
my
Pierce.
god. And then we'd have the super white offense. Hell yeah, dude. Ricky Pearsall,
Well,
Alec
the
Pierce,
most
Christian
the
McCaffrey,
most
George
Republicans,
Kittle.
The most Republicans on an NFL roster is actually in San Francisco.
Yeah, I wasn't honestly surprised there.
Led
Speaking
by
of which,
MAGA star himself. Sorry.
Nicholas John Bosa.
John?
That's his own name.
I could have guessed that one.
Speaking of white pass rushers, let's do the final offseason bachelor here, Maxx Crosby. I think he's been very upset with the Raiders, and they don't
Now that's
listen
a
to him at
toxic
coaching decisions
relationship.
anymore. Yeah, like
He's
where do
staying
you
with
think
them.
he
He's
He's
goes?
definitely out.
staying. He's staying with them.
No,
He's
I mean,
staying
this
in
is
there?
Myles Garrett all over again, is basically what you're saying. Myles Garrett requested a trade. He wrote a letter to the city of Cleveland that he wanted to win
Hey,
football
they have a
games.
new coach. They have
That
a,
he
okay,
wanted
they
to
have a
win
decent
football
coach
games.
now with Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, but I think if you're the Vegas, it makes a lot of sense just to trade him. Like, I know it sounds stupid to say because when you trade him, you're looking for a guy just like him to replace him. But if you can get 2 first-round picks, maybe 3 first-round picks, whatever, 2 first-round picks and a really good player, the Micah Parsons package, basically, dude, you sign yourself up because you're not a star edge rusher away from winning anyways. So trade him away. Go spend that first-round pick on a left tackle or something, or right guard, or I don't fucking know. Their O-line sucks. You got to go protect Mendoza. Like, what has Crosby done for you guys? Like, realistically, you almost made the play. You made the playoffs once with him there. Like, that's what he's been able to do. Like, your future is Kubiak Mendoza, not Kubiak Crosby. Like, that's not a thing, right? Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole. He has to be traded. And where he goes, I just feel like it's going to be Los Angeles Rams. They have that extra first-round pick from the Falcons. They have their own first-round pick. You throw in maybe like one of their D linemen right now or something like that, and it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, I honestly agree. Like, that's what I was gonna choose. I think I want him to come to the Niners. I don't think we're gonna give it up for him. Lions, I think, is always a possibility, but Rams have the draft capital. They want to go all in with Stafford's probably final year.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, they've been willing to trade all their
fuck
first
some
round picks before.
They did it for
right?
Jalen Ramsey, and
Yeah.
it made a lot of sense for them at that time. And I think this one is also like, hey, last year we got this extra first round pick. Now, like, we could just draft 2 guys in the first round for defense, or we could just be nasty. We could be the best team in the league if we get Maxx Crosby, which it would be if they got him. Instant Super Bowl favorites.
Fucking bitch ass Rams. God damn.
And if you guys got him also, but I just don't see if you're the the Raiders, like, you're looking at the trade packages. So it's like, unless you really want 27 picks or something, like for next year's draft, which would be for quarterback, where you presumably already have, I would be like, okay, well, I know that I'm going to be starting Mendoza probably game 1. It'd be nice to have 2 extra first-round picks this year, get him 2 guys on the offensive line that are going to protect him, and he's going to look a whole lot better, right? Rather than let's get draft capital for next year or something like that. You guys maybe have better players to trade, but I don't think you guys would want to get off any of them anyways, right?
I don't think it's going to be a player trade. I think it's going to be picks, and I think they'll get a first here this year and a first next year, and I think they'll be good with it. I do think they need to address offensive line. They probably need that capital. So yeah,
Detroit would be cool though. I think he's from Detroit, right?
Is he? I honestly don't know.
Sure. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. I remember him. Yeah, every time I feel like Maxx Crosby's trade gets thrown around, it's always Detroit, and there's always some shit like that. So
yeah, he's definitely been rumored there before. All right. Any other wild, crazy offseason matchmaking predictions before before free agency?
Oh man, well, the Steelers will get Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. JK.
You want
really.
him back?
No. I mean, we're gonna get him back. Like realistically, I'm not changing my expectations. I think someone's gonna throw a lofty 35, almost $40+ million offer at Malik Willis, and we will find out if he is the next reclamation project or not. But he's gonna get a bag. That's my prediction this offseason.
Okay. I don't know, man. You can't just keep retreading this. You can't keep doing this over and over again, expecting different results. Maybe you can get Kirk Cousins.
Fuck Kirk off, Cousins bro. Just make your prediction. Just make your prediction, okay? Stop. If that's your prediction, then fuck off. But otherwise, make your prediction. I know it's not your prediction. I hope it's not your prediction.
Dillon, do you have anything to add?
No. During the NFL honors party, like, who is it? Trent was talking to Deebo Samuel.
Oh, fuck.
That's almost like, I think, guaranteed to happen.
Fucking no.
Because
I don't want Deebo again.
George Kittle said that in a post-season interview. He was like, what's like your guys' expectations for next year? It's like, a lot of us are coming back, and even some old friends, old friends. Kept saying old friends. And there's only really one old friend that could really come back that he'd be so happy to play with again.
I have some regrets about how the offseason ended for the Niners.
I personally don't.
I don't
want Deebo. I don't want Deebo. Just because, like, he had that holdout situation, then Brandon Ayuk had that holdout situation, and like, look what happened.
I think it makes sense. I think if you bring him back, you sign Juwan to like a 2-year contract, and then you go make your big splash move at receiver, whether that's a first-round pick again. I don't think you guys will do that, but whatever receiver you guys try to go trade for.
Juwan wants wide receiver 2 money. He wants wide receiver 1 money.
I think Juwan's going to find out there's not wide receiver 1 money for Juwan out there.
There is in Vegas.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell. We're doing this again. We're doing Deebo again. He's going to come back 2 years older.
We're definitely doing fatter. Deebo again.
Can't do jet sweeps.
Man.
Yeah. You want to laugh at us? We'll laugh at you too. Wait till the only receiver you sign this offseason is Deebo, and next year you're rocking out with Ricky Pearsall and Deebo at wide receiver 2 and 1.
No Kittle either.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, no Kittle either. And then you guys signed David Njoku to be your replacement tight end for the time being.
Tonches is not bad.
He's a free agent too.
That's going to be a great offseason.
Oh, man. I do hope that we get some tight ends. I mean, I think we'll talk about it later in the offseason, but I think what the Rams did with their 3 tight ends, it's a copycat league. So I think that there'll be a lot more tight ends being signed this year. So likely, Njoku, it'll be interesting.
Likely is going to be nice, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who gets them. Giants.
Kyle Pitts.
That's going to do it for today's
generational
show.
Tight end.
Have you ever heard of a generational free agent?
We're not talking about this anymore. We can't talk about Kyle Pitts anymore. It's just, how many minutes of this podcast have we ever dedicated to Kyle Pitts? It's probably like too many.
Well, he fucking ruined my
first
round of
though.
fantasy league playoffs.
Join the club.
It would be funny if he went to the Niners just to I don't know why. It would just be so funny.
It is actually going to happen. Just watch. Raheem Morris is here.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Well, that is going to do it for this final episode of the Sports Counsel podcast. Well, not the final episode ever.
Whoa, time out. No, we were going to be back probably pretty soon here.
Final episode of the NFL season, of the 2025-26 NFL season. Obviously, once again, follow to our Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts from, to get the latest and greatest of our, sports episodes and podcasts and content. We will obviously be posting still on a sporadic basis. We won't be doing week by week like we have since August. We need a little bit of break, guys. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to relax, maybe travel a little bit, go on vacation. I don't know. But we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll get back into it. And you definitely want to stay informed and know when the next episode drops. Follow our social medias once again to stay in touch. sports_counsel on our platforms. Join the Discord to see our updates and our discussions as well in the offseason. Should be fun. And last but not least, we do have one special final post for the NFL season that will be coming out this Friday. A little teaser trailer. If you've been following along all season long, you do remember that a fantasy football punishment has to be fulfilled here. In our listener league, Sports Counsel listener league, the loser punishment was to record a TikTok day in the life of the losing fantasy football manager owner. That was Microphone Assassin, our listener. We will be posting his TikTok this Friday to kind of cap off a wonderful season of Sports Counsel. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's going to do it. We had a great season. I think we enjoyed it. I think we had, great time just discussing everything and, participating in all these listener discussions and just overall kind of having a voice in the NFL season. So thank you so much for listening along. Anything you guys want to add?
No, just want to reiterate your thank yous for everybody out there. Great season. We'll see you guys next year.
Yeah, see you guys next season.
It's going to suck. I miss football. Bring me back the Browns.
You need to go therapy after this season.
It's baseball time.
They want to lock me up. They're not going to lock me up. I'm gonna find old Arizona Cardinal highlights and I'll watch those until September. I don't care. See you guys later. I'm gonna go watch some football right now.
See ya.
See ya.